do let me know so that we can slow or speed up accordingly. Fine. So I'll just move on. I'll just start with the training. So this is what will be the agenda for today. So the agenda is introduction. I'll just give you a small introduction of what Gomez is. What are the modules of APM? What is typically mean by synthetic monitoring? What are the types of tests? What are the features of the Dynatrace latest portal that we are having today? The creation of tests, uh, like we will create some of the tests, run and check how it is working from various locations and all that. We have dashboards and charts. We'll see how to create a dashboard, how to create a chart. Then we will be probably looking into how to create an alert. Something goes wrong uh, from the application where which you are monitoring and you want to see an alert. We will see how the alert is being sent. And yes, this is more on a tool level, but if you guys have already procured Dynatrace Gomez, and if you are looking out for how to create a user, then I'll tell you how to create a user, what roles can be given, what are the admin rights can be given, how the dashboard can be protected that, okay, business users and operation users are only should see these dashboards. So something like that, all your privileges can be given to user. So I'll be discussing on these today. Anything, so you see that there are three different teams here. There is application operations and development. So anybody want to highlight today on the agenda that we have, or you want to ignore something, or you want to add or modify something?
Hi, Kumar. It is Muthu from Performance Test.
Yeah, Madhav.
Right. So we from the performance test as well, we're getting into this training to understand how well we can make use of synthetic monitoring from the performance test point of view. So, what in the agenda is it for us from the performance test front?
Perfect. No problem. That's a very good question. Yes. If you have any more, you can add on, or else I'll start answering your question.
No, I would be interested in to understand what do you have in the agenda for performance test, rather I suggest.
Perfect. No problem. I'll answer that. So your question is very much valid. So you're today interested on, okay, I'm a performance engineer. Tell me what information I'll be getting from the tool. So yours, we will be, you probably might be interested on point number five when I start telling on the features of Dynatrace portal, and maybe on point number seven when I tell you uh, the dashboards and the charts. So these 2 points you will be interested in, and other things anyways I'll be covering up, so you'll be understanding how the tool works. Wherein today I'll just complete in one line so that you're still excited till the end of the training. Today, what we can do is, or if you have already procured the Gomez and you're working for long, you can always go ahead and drill down to see in a waterfall view that how many objects were loaded, how many of them had error code, how much time was spent, and if the page was not loaded, why it was not loaded in the object level. And also what you can do is uh, that helps typically at some point in time, but always you can enable, there is something called a feature called screen capture. So there it is known as SCOE, that is screen capture on error. So anytime a error occurs that the page was not loaded completely, or there was some kind of issue that the page cannot be displayed, or DNS error, whatever, the tool will automatically go ahead and take a snapshot which the end user has to see in the browser, and it will show that to you.
Okay.
So any other questions you have other than this, or does this excite you, or you know that no, today we have already seen this, we want to see something more.
No, no, I'm fine.
All right. So anything else before we move on? Okay, I would take the silence as no, and probably I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so before we start, I just got information that people are also looking out for hands-on training. So whatever we are going to see today, if you are very much interested to see uh, from your lab. So I understand that even if you have a production setup today, it is of clients and you cannot go and play around and if you want to test something, because Dynatrace Gomez is a SaaS-based solution, and we completely understand that as a production, it is only there is no pre-prod or there is no staging environment for this available today. So what you can probably do is you can go ahead on this link. If you are interested, I can always copy and paste this for you in the chat window. And then what you can always do is you can probably, I'll just share this in the chat window for all of you. Yeah, so I have sent you it in chat. I hope everybody might have received this. So what you can always do is you can always go ahead and register for yourself a free trial. There are various modules. There are 14 days free license, there is 30-day free license. You can download and then you can do testing. So when I'm not explaining much here, that what kind of testing you want to do and all that, because let us cover what we are going to do, and probably you can during the break or post this session, you can always go ahead and download, register yourself, and 14 days of free license you can play around before you go and get your hands dirty in the production environment. So is that fine? I'll just move on to the next one. I just say that it is the chat has gone to everyone. Okay, so silence means I'm just moving to the next slide. Okay, so before we start on to synthetic monitoring, let me give you a small brief on today what is APM. So APM stands on for Application Performance Management. It is not monitoring. So it was monitoring before some time, but now it has been changed to Application Performance Management because of the proactive approach that we are taking today. So we have three types of modules here. So one is your synthetic monitoring, which is very much in our scope today for the training. Second one is deep dive monitoring plus end user management. And the third one will be real user monitoring. So these are the three different modules that today APM has. So just give me 1 minute. Just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry for that. So in synthetic monitoring, what we do is there is no real user. So how are we testing an application? So in synthetic monitoring, what we do is we simulate the end user's action and retrieve it at a particular frequency. So I repeat, in synthetic monitoring, there is no real user who is actually hitting your application. What we are doing is we are stimulating or we are recording a particular set of actions that an end user does and repeat it on a particular frequency. So for example, if I am today working for Flipkart.com, so Flipkart.com has given me a deal that, okay, please go ahead and do a synthetic monitoring. So I, as a tools developer or as a tools analyst or as a performance analyst or as an APM specialist, I would go ahead and ask Flipkart, okay, tell me the number of critical transactions you have and the flow of it. And today, if I want to go ahead and buy a Reebok shoe, typical flow of that would be one, I just log in into Flipkart. So first will be landing page of Flipkart. The second would be logging in of Flipkart. Third would be selecting the shoe, searching for Reebok. Fourth will be size, color. Fifth will be I'll just add to the cart, and sixth will be probably checkout. So now all the time when I am doing this transaction, any end user or Flipkart will today be interested in only two things. One, that the page should be available to him, and two, the performance. So when I say performance, it is not that I have selected a Reebok shoe of size 10 and color blue, and when I click on size number 10, it takes around 15 to 20 seconds just to load that image of it. I will not be happy. So, as on an APM survey, when we work with multiple e-commerce clients, what we have seen is there are 83% of chances that when a user is not happy, he jumps onto your competitor's website. He will not be a Flipkart. He will go to Amazon. So it's again a loss to the end user or to the Flipkart. So Flipkart was just an example. You might be working for e-commerce, you might be working for any other application wherein end user satisfaction, which is completely based on availability and performance, is very important. So that's what we do in synthetic monitoring. We just record, repeat those steps at a particular frequency, and anytime this recording is being failed or it has not happened in that particular time, wherein I mean the availability is not hit and the performance is not hit as per the satisfaction level or the threshold or the customized threshold what we are giving it to them, it will send you an alert before actually the end users are coming. So that's all in on your synthetic monitoring. On the deep dive and end user monitoring, what we do is it is completely an agent-based solution. So again, we have two things over here. We have agentless and agent-based solution. So synthetic is completely agentless. On deep dive monitoring and UEM, it is a complete agent-based solution wherein the tools agent will be sitting on the web server, application server, and sometimes to the DB, the database, and collect all the information of the transactions that are happening today. And here, what will be the difference between the synthetic monitoring and the deep dive monitoring is, on a synthetic monitoring, what we will be seeing is what happens when an end user is coming to your application, what is his availability and performance. Only these two from a browser perspective. However, on a deep dive monitoring and end user monitoring perspective, what we will be seeing is we will be monitoring all the users, including the synthetic users and the real users who are coming onto your application, and we would go ahead and proactively monitor that which part of the application had created an issue. Was it because of the client browser version he is using, or is it because of the client operating system he is using? Is it because of the network which is getting choked? It is because of the web server, or is it because of the thread or the garbage collection time or the code, or there is some database query, anything. So it is a complete deep dive monitoring solution, which is the second part of the APM module. It is completely agent based. The third one is again known as real user monitoring. Now, today in market, there are certain technologies like Citrix, SAP, so who do not share their code with any of the APM tools like Dynatrace, AppDynamics, New Relic, say what, Instana, any tool. So here what we do is there is a concept called port mirroring, wherein it is a completely agentless solution, wherein we do copy some of the traffic, the network packets from using the port mirroring concept, and go ahead and check what was the details which were traveling through the packets, explore those packets and see that, okay, this much amount of time was spent in Citrix, this much amount of time was spent in other technologies which are used today. So this was a brief on the three modules of APM. I know it is not in the scope, but still I wanted to give a start on what is a synthetic monitoring, deep dive, and real user monitoring. I'll give a pause of 30 seconds. If anybody has any question, you can always ask.
Hello?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, yeah. What is agent based and agentless here?
Good question. So agent-based solution in the sense that we will be injecting a agent. So when you hear about App Dynamics deep dive monitoring or Dynatrace AppMon solution, application monitoring solution, what we do is there is a small software, I'll not say small software, a small piece of code which will sit in your web server, application server, and the database. And it will collect all the real-time data and send it to the Dynatrace or App Dynamics server, wherein we can sit and analyze that. That's a different solution. Wherein in agentless solution, we do not place any, so we will not touch the code, we will not place any third-party software of Dynatrace or App Dynamics to the application to monitor the same. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we are using agentless also.
Yes. So synthetic monitoring, we will not be doing anything towards the agent. Synthetic monitoring is always agentless.
Okay.
Only this deep dive monitoring in EUMUC, it is an agent-based solution.
So performance wise both are same, right?
No. So performance-wise, both are not same. Synthetic monitoring will give you very much limited information. If you are from a RCA team or if you are from a performance operation team, synthetic monitoring will give you very much limited information, like which object was not. Since I have told you that synthetic monitoring is done purely from the browser perspective. It has nothing to do from your app, web, or DB. So we are just recording some scripts or recording the steps what a end user does, and we are just repeating it. So how was that in the end user's browser? Only that information you will be able to get from the synthetic monitoring. For example, today, let us take an example that you are logging into Amazon.in. So that is the home page, or that is the page that you are monitoring. Using a synthetic monitoring, which is completely agentless solution, what you will be able to see is that what time does it take to load the page, how much time did each page or each object in the page took, and how much time was spent in we tell something called CNS, that is client, network, and server. Only such information you will be able to get from synthetic monitoring. Wherein if you are using deep dive monitoring, which is a completely agent-based solution, what you will be able to see is which line of code in the WAR file, whether it is sitting in JVM or .NET or CLO, wherever, which code of line was taking more time, what was the database query that was sent to the database, And did database respond in the correct time? Was your network choke happening? Was there a thread which is taking the thread lock which was happening, or there was some kind of memory leaks that were happening? That you will be able to see only on your Dynatrace AppMon or the App Dynamics or CAY Latel, whatever tool, which is a deep dive monitoring. In synthetic monitoring, it is typically only your performance and availability. Am I clear? Or you have any more questions? You can always shoot up.
So agent based for browser related hits, it's working for agent based.
Browser related hits, will it work for agent based? Yes, we
Yeah.
do have that. So for EUM, it is nothing but your end user monitoring. We do have a agent based solution for that. However, in this course or in the scope what we are going through, we will be only concentrating on synthetic monitoring part of it. But to answer your question, yes. For EUM, there is an agent-based solution.